Okay, so welcome back to the channel. Today we're on to Volume 3 of our Switch Games Over 100 Hours series. Below in the comment we'll be pinning Volumes 1 and 2 for you to check out after this one, and then Volume 4, that one's going to be going live next week. We've really enjoyed putting these lists together though. There's some great titles on the Switch which is sure to keep you busy, and you really just don't realise how many are out there. So yeah, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we do, leave the video a like if it helps you out, and let's get started. So first up, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and this RPG series is for sure a fan favourite, and they delivered here with the sequel. This one we're in control of Rex and his trusty weapon, who's a living weapon by the way. Yep, it's alive and goes by the name of Pyra. Now as RPGs go, this story is as crazy as ever, but it's a really unique one, where civilizations live on the back of titans, which are basically huge ass beasts if the name didn't give that away. And that means from a gameplay perspective you can expect different scenery, wildlife and just cultures to interact with. This one though, it's the world for me that made it just everything, you know, everything here is just interesting. It made me want to explore, it made me want to dig deeper into the lore. It also helps though that we do get stunning fantasy graphics, a beautiful soundtrack, a fun combat system and some great cutscenes to make this just another must-buy epic adventure for your list. Completionist, you can expect 255 hours on average from this one. Oh, and if that's still not enough Xenoblade for you, there's even a standalone DLC called Torna, the Golden Country, that's going to give you an additional 40 hours. So with the upcoming sequel, there's no better time than now to talk about One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. This one, it's telling the original One Piece story from Fuchsia Village through to the Kingdom of Dressrosa. And this is great because while fans of the series can relive the opening storyline and see, you know, their favourite characters just battle it out, new fans can jump in with no prior knowledge and enjoy it too. Now for those that don't know, Warriors titles are basically just hack and slash action games where you're facing an insane number of enemies, and I will say no brain power required here. These are pretty much like start playing, shut off your brain and just enjoy yourself. Now if Warriors titles achieve one thing though, it's making you feel the power of the characters you're inhabiting. Sure, the battles, they're repetitive, but they're also a whole lot of fun. Expect the screen though to be filled with enemies and expect to be pulling off some seriously special moves. For me, this is actually my favourite Warriors title on the Switch right now, beating out Dynasty, Fire Emblem and Hyrule. It's just more fun, the moves for me were more creative, and then the lack of weapons in this one, and yet no weapons at all here, it just makes every encounter just like insane and in your face spectacles because it's all melee. This Switch version though, it's baking in all of the previous DLC, local co-op for split screen play, and then you get nearly 40 characters to choose from and experiment with. I think it's fair to say you've got a whole lot of game ahead of you, and for the completionists, a runtime of 100 hours just making the cut today. So Slay the Spire, I'm going to put this out there now, I'm not the biggest fan of card deck games, but I saw a physical release of this, I took the gamble, and yeah, I gotta say this one, it just suckered me in. Slay the Spire works like this, it's mixing card deck building with rogue-like elements. Gameplay wise, you're going to be choosing a character that starts with a basic set of cards, and then you begin progressing floor by floor up the spire. Now as you pass each battle on each floor, you'll begin to inherit new cards which can be added to your deck, making you of course slightly more powerful for that next battle. Learning the strongest combinations for your deck though, I will say that's where you will find your glorious victory. So why is it a roguelike, you ask? Well, every death you'll be starting from the very bottom again, but of course with some new unlocks available to make it just that little bit easier, to make you feel like your character's growing. Extremely challenging but extremely rewarding as well. It means you'll be coming back to this one for ages, and completionists, you're looking at 233 hours here, you're getting your money's worth, that's for sure. So next up, what I feel was a bit of a sleeper hit on the Switch in my opinion, The World Ends With You Final Remix. This, it's a port of a DS game from like 2007, 2008, and this one, so you know it's coming from the creators of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, so you already know it's going to be quality stuff. With this Switch build, I will say it's known though for frustrating and difficult controls in docked mode. It just doesn't work with Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller at all, and I'd say actually only pick this one up if you're a Switch Lite owner or you're willing to go exclusively handheld. Now, playing as Niku, the setup is this: you awake in the middle of a road, memory's gone, and now you and your friends must fight for your lives in the streets of Tokyo. As storylines go, I'd actually say it's a little bit more adult than most, but I really do like the characters in this one, and the almost like coming of age storyline, it really made it for me. With great cartoon graphics and a fast action take on an RPG battle system, there's a lot to like here. Just trust me, again I'm going to say it, reinforce it, handheld only. Completionists here, expect 139 hours. Alright, Animal Crossing New Horizons, I've got to put it on here, but with no completion runs online yet, I think it's fair to say we're easily going to break the 100+ hour marks with this one, so I'm including it. The average of the previous console and handheld entries was somewhere in the region of 400 hours, so yeah, I think that says it all really. How do you get to 400 hours? Well, to be honest, that's your choice. Attract new residents to your island, build out a home, or simply enjoy island life, fishing, catching bugs, crafting. There's just tons to do here, and it's easy to get lost in its charm. Last time I played this one, I intended to spend like 30 minutes in the world, and then 6 hours just all of a sudden passed, and I can't say I regretted any of it. I'm putting this one in there as a safe bet. It will easily surpass the 100-hour mark if it hasn't already for many of you out there. I think I'm up to like 50 hours already at this point. Now, one of my favourite Switch RPGs out there, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. This one, it's a re-release celebrating its 10th anniversary. Now, I will say, to bring it more into the modern age, they've updated it with HD graphics, they've added brand new music, they've included minigames, and there's even a collection of unreleased costumes if that's your thing. The Tales series, it started way back in 1995, and it's been going strong pretty much ever since, and you'll see why when you experience this one. Now, I will say, don't worry if you haven't played any of the others. Like Final Fantasy, these are for the most part standalone stories, and that's very much the case here with this entry. Fine-tuned combat, stunning cel-shaded visuals that stand up to this day, a deep storyline with a ton of likeable characters. This one, in my opinion, just has it all. Completionists, 173 hours, and it's often considered the best Tales game ever made, so it also comes with my highest of recommendations. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. Long name, great game. With nearly every Wii U game making its way to the Switch at this point, here we get another one. Fortunately, I will say the Wii U really did have some great games that went largely missed, and it's a prime example of one that deserves a second chance. This one, it's the classic good versus evil tale where you and your team, a group of high schoolers in this case, battle to take down evil foes. The bad guys, they go by the name of Mirages, and they can only be taken down by you. Why is that? Because you and your friends are what are known as Mirage Masters. This means basically you can form a bond with good Mirages and borrow their powers. Not convinced you yet? How about this? These good Mirages, they're characters from the Fire Emblem universe. It's convoluted, it's weird, but it's for sure entertaining. I will say though, the graphics are a little dated now with some low textures, but I do appreciate all the bright colours. The anime cutscenes still look amazing too, and this one really has it where it counts, the gameplay, especially when it's such a huge experience. Completionists, you're looking at around 110 hours here for your first playthrough. Rune Factory 4 Special joined the Switch earlier in the year, and it combines farm simulation with dungeon crawling, and it's most notably famous for being a spin-off of the Harvest Moon series where they basically added swords. What I love about Rune Factory 4 is its options, and that's in the sense that you can basically do whatever you want. Yes, there's a story, but you don't need to follow it honestly. You just want to farm? Do it. Just want to dungeon crawl? Do it. The game lets you make the choices here, you do you. It can be as relaxed or adventure based as you want it to be, but with a great cast of characters, tons in the world to explore, seasonal festivals to take part in. You could go and get married if you want, grow crops, raise monsters, fish, cook, craft, battle. It's weirdly epic stuff with a lot of choice placed in your hands. Completionists, you're expecting way over 200 hours with this one. So another Warriors game for you now, Fire Emblem Warriors. We spoke about One Piece already, so keeping this one brief because Warriors titles, they don't really change up too much. But this one basically, it's the same Warriors gameplay, but here you can now expect to see a ton of weapons and of course those Fire Emblem skins. If you're a fan of the Fire Emblem universe though, you'll no doubt enjoy this with its selection of 32 of your favourite characters, an action-packed combat system to use, tons of enemies to slay, and then of course all the trademark locations you would expect to see from the series. Story wise it's okay, you're restoring the Shield of Flames to stop the Chaos Dragon, but yeah, it's Warriors, I wouldn't come here for that, just come here to kick some ass. With 200 hours for completion, so you've got a whole lot of fighting ahead of you, and now with that, let's get on to the last one. Labyrinth of Reckoning, Coven of Dusk. It's an RPG but a slightly different style, not one I'm really big into myself personally, but it's a first person dungeon crawler. This one, it's all set within the world of Trannis. It's a tale of clearing the underground dungeons of evil. These are beneath the town of Refrain. This story, it's strange. I'm not far enough into this personally to give my full opinion, but I'll tell you this. You play as a buck, where I can barely say its name, the Tractus de Monstrum. It's owned by Dusk Witch Dronia. At her command though, basically, you'll be exploring and clearing out these dungeons. Here though, I'll say this, expect deep RPG combat mechanics with skills, magic, attack patterns, weapons, and even customizable soldiers to fight alongside you. Graphically, it's nothing amazing. I don't think the genre was really known for it either, but I do like the presentation of the story, I'll say that much. Also, I will say expect a lot of reading with this one. Completionist though, you're going to be exploring these dungeons for 100 hours. And that's it, Volume 3 done. Crazy to think we've now done 3 of these videos, all with 10 games each, over 100 hours. I didn't even realise the Switch honestly had that many. I'll be linking the first 2 videos at the end and in the comments below. But have I missed any of your favourites so far? Let me know, and maybe we'll get it into Volume 4 next week. With that though, hit that subscribe button if you love the Switch as much as we do. We have videos just like this every week, unboxings, reviews, and all sorts of stuff. We try and cover it all basically. Hit that like button if we helped you out, and yeah, we'll see you all on the next video.